Here we go. Here we go. Hey, everybody, this is Ronald Haynie. I'm back to read to you for February the 10th an excerpt from my novel, Duppy, You Reap What You Sow. Last time I read for you from chapter 9. Right after that is when the great Mary Wilson found out the word that the great Mary Wilson passed away. But before I even begin, because I got to multitask, I'm on Facebook Live as well as Instagram Live. So let's make that happen, okay? Yeah, but Mary Wilson, a little later on, I am going to be on the After Dark show with Sean Cornelius. I think I'll hold it like this. Yep, so I'm multitasking, like I said. Yep, peace Facebook land and Instagram, you know what I mean? This will wind up on Instagram as well. Again, right now, February the 10th, I'm going to read to you an excerpt from my novel, Duppy, You Reap What You Sow, a novel by Ronald Haynie. I hope you've been enjoying. There's ways to get the book in the description, for Facebook and IG, and you YouTubers out there. This particular read is dedicated to Mary Wilson and to Cicely Tyson, who ironically, the last time I saw either of them in person, I did get the opportunity to speak with Mary Wilson. It was during the Gin Game downtown on Broadway. What a fantastic show. But anyway, back into this read, okay, for Duppy, You Reap What You Sow, out of chapter 10. So here we go. Okay. The world is in shock. So am I. If you get the opportunity, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, United States. I'm going to be on shortly with the great comedian Sean Cornelius in an interview. Rest in peace, bless in peace, rather, Mary Wilson and Cicely Tyson, as let's do chapter 10, okay? From the novel written by yours truly. Pages 251 to 260 in the book, chapter 10 begins like this. The lingering flies in Al's bedroom created a homemade alarm clock for him. He opened his eyes after a fly romped inside his ear twice, with his body remaining painfully numb and his stench permeating his stuffed nostrils. He would never stop wondering what he did to deserve his current way of living. And he wondered, would he make it to Orange County alive? The Mary Morton Center was his destination, a place where he should have fled to a long time ago. He was a senior citizen too, for more than 10 years. His 11th year would be spent in the grave if he didn't escape his grave domestic situation. The powers that be at the home would accept him in his current condition. He had absolutely nothing to lose, and he would have an extension added to his diminishing life. To be around Aunt Lou again on a consistent basis was a family reunion long overdue. At age 95, Mrs. Lou R. Williams was alive, cared for, and in much better shape than her nephew. As far as Al was concerned, if they lived together in the 1930s, they could live together in the 1980s. As logically as possible, he carefully planned his escape route. Knowing the Social Security check was due and in the mailbox, he needed to get a message to Malik or Terrence to break open the mailbox and obtain the check for him. Since Dwayne knew when the checks came, the boys would need to act quickly. One could run the check to Joe Rutledge's liquor joint, and the other could help him down the stairs. Joe always cashed checks for neighborhood buddies, even when the store wasn't open. Upon returning, the boys would flag a taxi. If any of the neighbors questioned his atrocious appearance, he would think of a quick story, as long as the youngsters returned with the money, so he could pay them for their services, pay the cab driver, and flee for his life. For the first time in years, he didn't have time to cry. Practically with zero strength, he made his way from the bedroom, down the hall, and back to the kitchen phone extension to no avail. In the center of the chaotic mess, the phone lay demolished with its broken shell, separated rotary disc, wired insides, and ringing bell exposed on the floor. Clinging to his walker, shaking with sickened fear, Al looked about the room with blurred vision. He wondered, would the den that held so many positive memories opposed to the negative suck the life from him? Could the room swallow him whole as he felt the barren, filthy walls closing in? Should he attempt to make it down the staircase because time was running out? Should he open the bathroom or the alley windows and scream for help? Should he bang on the apartment doors of the neighbors that he had lied to, yelling and pleading, "Help! Help me, please! I lied! I was wrong! I lied! I lied to you all! My grandson is beating me! Help me, please! He's going to kill me! My grandbaby going to kill me!" Should he reach out after the concerned people attempted to help him and he shafted them? Should he try and hide next to the wall unit and when his grandson entered the room, use the same baseball bat on him that lay amongst the debris of broken glass, table, telephone, rotted food, dried blood, dried urine, buzzing flies, dust, and more dust? Feeling faint again, he staggered back to the sofa to plot the next move of coherence. The wrought iron wall unit stood sturdy in place with its dead plants and overturned portraits inside frames with no glass, filled with stories to tell, all watching and debating his fate. Infinity crept closer. Meanwhile, Man and his best friend, Dwayne in general, were practically sprinting down 7th Avenue. His insurance plot fell through for the time being after finding the office closed. This made him double hungry for a hit of crack. With no money and no means to get any, he recalled the house keys of Una Livingston he'd stolen. Feeling in his pockets, Dwayne kissed the ring of keys and headed quickly for 120th Street, with aggravated, hungry General following behind him. His unannounced visit this time was with the intent of cleaning out all of the valuables he could possibly hand carry. "Shh! Don't you say nothing," he whispered to the pit. He quietly unlocked and closed the first glass door of the foyer, giving his dog a stern look, covering his lips with his index finger like an early childhood teacher does their class. General growled at Dwayne, semi-rebellious out of hunger. "You better cool out, General boy. What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm getting loot now so you can eat and I can get my shit. Do what I tell you. Sit. I'll be back. And don't start barking neither." He quietly unlocked the second door, leaving General in the foyer, and crept into the house, hiding behind each door, moving quickly as possible. The second floor of the brownstone was quiet as a church mouse in Dwayne's mind, drowned out by the loud, rapid thumping of his anticipated heartbeat. The lingering scent of curry was calm, and Dwayne was elated, believing the Livingstons had expensive things worth a pretty penny. He peeked into the living room, checking the time on the grandfather clock. 11:30. Good. Ain't nobody home. I don't hear nothing. I hope them coconuts stay out the house, he thought, swiftly moving up the staircase. Inside the second floor kitchen, Patrick's cousin Ivy was cleaning the breakfast pots, pans, and dishes, engaging in conversation with two newly arrived male cousins from England, Carlton and Grant. Muscular Carlton removed some ackee and codfish from the microwave oven, and tall, slim Grant smoked a cigarette. Laughing and reminiscing about the good times the entire family had in their native Manchester, Jamaica, they felt living in the United States and life in the London ghettos were the same. They both were a bit tedious. Monetarily, they were grateful that Jah blessed them with green cards. Each time they returned to the Caribbean, life felt better. Grant noticed the sound of footsteps moving quickly up the stairs. You hear that? He asked with You hear that? He asked with a strong baritone Jamaican accent mixed with a bit of British. Younger Carlton added, You always hear something. Your imagination crazy, no man. They all laughed, continuing their conversation. Grant stated, Look at the gal them. Shake them body. Carlton turned up the television on top of the counter, gawking at the Soul Train broadcast. Ivy stopped her duty and put down her dish towel to look at the girls shake their hips on television. She kissed her teeth and waved her hand, knowing she could do better if she was at least 10 years younger with the right reggae beat. Carlton quickly finished his leftovers, tossing his plate in the sink so he can concentrate on the telly. Ivy finished off the dishes and sat down at the table with them to watch Melba Moore and Freddie Jackson perform their #1 smash, A Little Bit More. Grant looked peculiarly at the ceiling, hearing more strange creaks and noises over the blaring television. It sounded to him like someone was on the 3rd floor of the house. Perhaps Mummy Una and the rest of the family had returned. Upstairs, within a 10-minute time frame, Dwayne had gone through all of the bedrooms and the bathrooms, searching wildly for money or anything of value. He practically inspected every article of clothing. He practically inspected every article of clothing, all bureau drawers, closets, and he found nothing, aggravating him more, contemplating a climb to the 4th floor. These cheap banana boat motherfuckers ain't got shit in here. Damn, where the fuck do Patrick grandma stay in this house? Her old ass keep fresh money. That's right. She probably took everything and she jetted. Let me get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry I came. He spotted a ring on a dresser inside the last bedroom, a diamond-studded gold wedding band. The yellow-colored metal was worth something. Cool! Yeah! Yeah! Dwayne ran to the dresser and slipped the ring into his pocket. Now I can motivate, he said happily, tiptoeing from the room towards the staircase when he heard the steps creaking. He peeked over the banister and saw Ivy, head bowed, primly ascending the stairs. Shit! He thought, heart racing. At the speed of light, he was back into the bedroom, looking around for a hiding place. What the fuck's she doing here? She's supposed to be out of the house. Is she the only motherfucker here? Shit! He thought. Scooting breathlessly underneath the king-size canopy bed would be the ideal hiding place, but the mattresses were too close to the floor. Where could he go? The closet! The open closet across the room was filled with women's hats, shoes, gowns, dresses, and other garments in a mass abundance. And it was there he decided to bury himself. Dwayne darted inside the closet, concealing himself behind some dresses, unaware of Ivy's sleeping Siamese cat, the aggressive feline who liked to curl up and sleep inside the closet because of its cluttered warmth, was suspicious of the stranger who inched his way closer. With her sharp claws extended, the cat was ready for attack after having her afternoon nap interrupted. Dwayne thought his eardrums would explode because of the deafening volume of his heartbeat while he held his breath, relieved in the closet with his back against the wall. He eased himself down on top of the irritated cat by mistake. The cat screeched, leaping and scratching furiously at Dwayne's face, claws stuck in his hair, knocking him off balance. Ow! Ow! Shit! What the fuck? Dwayne yelled loud enough for Ivy to hear. Patrick! Ivy spoke out with question at the top of the landing. Ow! 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 Get the fuck off me! The cat clung to Dwayne's trouser thigh until he kicked and smashed it against the closet wall, pulling dresses off their hangers. He tumbled out into the open bedroom. What the ass? Yelled Ivy, recognizing Patrick's American friend immediately. How did he get into the house without permission? And why was he falling from inside her bedroom closet? She started screaming, "Ah! Ah! Help! Stop the blast, the thief! Ah! Stop the thief! Shut up, bitch!" Dwayne yelled, snatching a frightened woman's head wrap off, dashing down the steps for his quick getaway. He could hear his trusty pick giving the alarm from his post in the foyer, warning his master of forthcoming trouble, but it was too late. Grant appeared at the bottom of the steps to see what the strange barking and mysterious inferior commotion was about. A target in the direct line of fire. Dwayne leaped from the stairs, leg extended in kick position, and knocked Grant to the floor. Collecting themselves after a few elbows, punches, and kicks, Dwayne and General were out the door, down the cement steps, and running for their lives, while the block inhabitants and passerby all wondered what was going on. Carlton, still engrossed with the shaking hips inside the television, heard the ruckus too late. Ensuring that his relative was okay first, Carlton then ran out of the brownstone after the thief and his canine accomplice. By the time Carlton reached 7th Avenue, Dwayne and General were streets ahead, far too ahead to be captured. Pondering, Carlton became infuriated while thinking, "Grant, him here, right? Him here, the thief, come in the house. Come on into the house. Him the one the thief mommy's keys. And the money in her bag yesterday. We must know him. Or maybe that was Patrick's friend. The Yankee boy, him come by the house last night. When him leave the house and gone by the street, them things them gone." Carlton walked back to the house past the chuckling onlookers amid the neighborly tip-offs to who Dwayne really was. Carlton was blinded by embarrassment and avenging anger. He joined his hurt and distraught cousins in the living room. "Call the police, no man!" Ivy shouted, placing a cool towel on Grant's forehead. "Ivy, it was Patrick's friend, wasn't it?" Carlton asked. "Yeah, man, him come out of me bedroom like a madman. Him thief me address, give Grant a flying kick, man. Me want to give the Yankee boy a kick in him backside, you know." "We'll handle it. We'll take care of it," Carlton exclaimed. Ivy kissed her teeth Caribbean style, while Grant muttered, "Yeah, we'll do just that. We'll take care of the blood clot thief." Grant and Carlton slapped hands and shook firm. Dwayne sold the ring and Ivy's head wrap for $10, just enough to get a couple of quick hits. There were still a few hats left from the 1986 World Series champs, the New York Mets, that could be sold if needed. The insurance money became an emergency because his highs were shorter and his base pipe needed its vitamins. Deep down, he hoped that Patrick's relatives didn't recognize him. It would break Patrick's heart to know that his best friend stole from his house. Offended General dutifully followed his master, wishing that Dwayne would feed him. In the beginning, Dwayne worshiped General like the pit was an actual human child, like he was his very own son. Now General went for days without food, was in dire need of vet care, and the dog was becoming extremely vexed with his master. An icy breeze with swirling multicolored leaves, swift and quick, gave the indication of an express change between the seasons. The holidays would be just around the corner, and the forthcoming year would be spent for the first time without Al. The pipe was beginning to talk him into killing his own grandfather, and this gave the weather a more chilling effect. And he would remain with a wintry heart, combing the streets until he came to a final decision on how to dispose of Al for the insurance money. Back in apartment number 53, Al managed to stand the walker up and used it to move back into the hallway. He used the upper right side of his body to move, but no feeling to his left side after General's attack on the left leg. It took so much air and strength to move, and the pain was hot like fire, with his month-old trousers acting as a bandage, being stuck on the outside and the inside of his fleshy dog bite wound. It's only a matter of time now, Al thought, while grasping at his right walker handle, slouched, hunched over its top rail. Each step was an inch and a minute long as he moved closer and closer and closer to the apartment door. Dwayne's bedroom finally inched its existence on the left. And the bathroom was next at last, which meant God answered his prayers. The apartment door was a few minutes away to his right. Tired Al took some deep breaths for more strength before his exit, again reciting the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Where you going? And the evil familiar voice startled Al as it burst through the door. Seeing a blurred vision of Dwayne and the once beloved general was one thing, but hearing his grandson's venomous tone along with the pit's horrific growl kept the senior terrified. That is the end of the excerpt for chapter 10 for February 10th. Happy Black History Month, everyone. For Duppy, You Reap What You Sow, a novel by Ronald Haynie. Thank you all for tuning in if you had the opportunity to do so. Thank you. This read was dedicated to Miss Diana Ross introduced them at the Copa, Miss Mary Wilson. And yeah, that read was dedicated to Miss Mary Wilson. Am I saying that? Anyway, the read is dedicated to Miss Mary Wilson and Cicely Tyson, who I happened to see at the same time the last time I saw each one of them at the Gin Games starring James Earl Jones on Broadway. Thanks to a beautiful friend of mine who still works for NBC. But more on that some other time. Continue to keep the Wilson family in prayer and the Tyson family in prayer. Keep each other in prayer. Continue to stay safe. We still have a pandemic going on. Still happy 2021. Happy Black History Month to everybody. If you get the opportunity in about a half an hour around the world, you can tune in to the After Dark show with Sean Cornelius. I'll see if there's a link out there floating around. It'd be fun to be interviewed. If the Almighty spares my life for tomorrow, February the 11th, chapter 11 for you. I'm out. I'm out.